This is Shelly Kraft coming to you live on SNN Live at the Planet MicroCap Showcase 2019 here in Las Vegas. With me is Chris Lahiji of LD Micro. Chris, what up?
What's up, man? Well, it's another year, another great event in Las Vegas. I'm very honored for you guys to have me. I feel like the energy has been great the entire day. And unlike most of this industry, I think it's been proven that I actually get some work done. So I've been in rooms all day, listening to some great presentations, asking the hard questions, and it's just a pleasure. I still haven't been able to go to the booths to get my pens and my candy, and some company is providing some type of like blue goo in a box. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to go when nobody is attending the booth and take 12 of them.
Well, I understand that. That's why we give out the bags to go and get the booty.
No. The aura, look, it's just, ask Lowenstein. They had Pro V1 golf balls for many, many years. And of course, that basket was completely full when it was being attended. The moment they would leave that booth is the moment that all those golf balls somehow suddenly disappeared. So yeah, there's an art form to it, and there's also other people too where they'll bring somebody to talk with the person while the other one kind of takes the booty and secretly puts it in the bag. There's all sorts of strategies to kind of figure out getting conference swag.
So I saw your panel yesterday.
Yes. I'm hoping that the camera wasn't working. It's not a good idea to drink beer without having eaten anything for the entire day. And it was raw. I felt a little buzzed. I'm so glad that I didn't use any profanities.
Chris, you did.
Oh, I did? Oh, yeah. Yes, that S word is a bad word. That's true. My daughter also confirms that. So yeah. No, but look, it's my consensus is if you've been in a room all day that's been filled with accountants, attorneys, market makers, there's a lot of great content, but it can also get boring from time to time. If you're the last guys right before the food and the cocktails get served, you better put on a good show. And I think we delivered yesterday.
So when you are at a conference that's not an LD Micro conference, and you're not running around with all the responsibility, all the pain, all the suffering, and all of the tragedy, what is it like for you at a conference?
This is heaven, man. Just watching Bobby's face fill with fright brings me enormous pleasure. It's like, what are we gonna do? How come the mic's not working? Just like that evil Homer Simpson laugh. There was an episode, God, I forget it, but there was this evil villain and he had this incredible laugh. No, look, the reality is host a small birthday party. Host a gathering of friends, host a beer fest. It doesn't matter what the size is, hosting anything is a lot harder than it looks, which is why a lot of conferences are like, we should have an event. And then the second time is, we shouldn't have an event.
People ask me, what's your conference like? And I go, well, it's like the marriage of a due diligence meeting and a bar mitzvah.
Oh, it's a nightmare. I'm being, because sometimes people think I'm being overly facetious. I'm being dead serious. After when I say, okay, that's the end of that, I will never host another event again. Once I decide that is the end, I'd rather chop trees, teach a 6th grade class, become a postal worker. I will do anything but host another event. I won't even host a small gathering of friends. It's like, if you want to meet me, I'm at this restaurant at this time, and if you don't, it's fine.
So what's your opinion of the microcap market today?
Well, Q4, I would be like, dude, it's like, I have some money saved up under the sofa, I buried some of it. I mean, it was really bad. I was up big going into the last 30 days of the year. It was the worst December since, 1933, which last time I checked, that was a really bad year. Q1's been phenomenal. Guys are on fire. I mean, it's almost, we were looking at some of the trading today. It seems like guys are finally giving executives the benefit of the doubt. So when things are bad, they're terrible. When things are good, they're great. So right now, there's a lot of momentum. We'll see how long it lasts, and we're always kind of, on the cautious side of things.
You know, I saw some things in the market, and I started to do some wonderment of, how much of this market is being driven by cannabis stocks.
Well, that's where the real interest is. But this is something I didn't share yesterday that I'm glad I could share today. I have never seen a market where popular companies are getting beyond the benefit of the doubt. Guys are bidding their shares higher, anything with growth, anything that's kind of proven itself. And then, on the other side of the coin, companies that maybe have missed a quarter. There's some uncertainty, a managerial change. I've never seen them trade with such little volume and such a discount. So it's fascinating. If you're popular, if you're cannabis, if you're growing, holy smoke. Notice I didn't say the other S word. Holy smoke. You're going to get a lot of interest. But if you are an industrial company that kind of missed a quarter, or you still have some, energy assets that may or may not work this year, but you're trading at 5 times EBITDA, no one cares. So it's like, really popular stuff, and how can I put this? Just a crap ton of demand, okay? Companies that are solid, profitable, but maybe not be growing as much, no one really trades.
If there was one piece of information that you could get on any company to help you make a decision, what would that be?
I've got the answer. It's like, Pat, I will solve the puzzle, okay? Future FCF. If I ever get a tattoo, it would be FCF, okay? Free cash flow. I just want to know how much money will come in. That is the most important indicator. If I could do future free cash flow of any company, I would be a billionaire several times over. That's it. Everything else is, not to say that other details aren't important, but future free cash flow is where it's at.
But with all the geniuses that are on these panels that we have, who's coming up with that?
Well, there's one guy on the panel whose name I will not mention, who I think has all the ingredients of becoming a generational investor. Where it's like, like you talk about Buffett and Munger and all those guys, like, Buffett once, asked me for a piece of gum. It was the greatest experience of my life. There is one guy who has all the tricks of the trade. And again, the new generation is extremely talented, extremely hungry, extremely gifted. On the buy side.
Is that a guy that we both don't understand?
Oh yeah, no, but I don't think he understands himself. I just think that there's a different level of comprehension. Like I would, how can I put this? Like I'll look at this carpet and say, it's brown with some flower detail. He would basically be like, it's opaque. There's different textures in different areas. I'm sensing a stain over here. I mean, there's just a different level of understanding. So we're very fortunate to be living in a time where MicroCap is finally getting some real young, solid buy-side investors. I mean, I was 18 when I started this, and in many circles, I'm still the oldest guy, 18 years later, 17 years later. So it's great to kind of see these guys move up, and I wish them nothing but huge success.
It's like I want to give kudos out to Bobby for a minute because his podcast.
Bobby is a huge part of that. Bobby is a huge part of that new generational movement. I mean, you can make a lot of arguments about millennials, but at least in this department today, they've been phenomenal and they've been a boon. And I also want to say this. We always ask, what is it going to take for MicroCap to not only survive but thrive? Massive winners. And these guys are uncovering some of them. I don't care whether I own something or not or more. Will it go from 1 to 20? Will it go from 5 to 100? And how many people were involved in that? If we get that on a relatively consistent basis, there will be people coming into MicroCap just to see if they can find the next big winners.
So where do you think the whole world goes from here?
I will lie and say things are going to be great. They're wonderful. I mean, just listen to the government. Unemployment's low. Trump has a 98% approval rating, according to Trump. I still have pants. I mean, things are wonderful. The reality is, again, it all depends on what 80 to 90% of the population does. And I have not seen any improvement over a 20-year basis. I'm hoping that the next 20 years are more optimistic for everyone involved.
So, Chris, let's talk about something near and dear to your heart and mine, your upcoming event in June. And what the heck is going on?
Well, there's a couple big changes. We're going from 30-minute presentations to 20-minute presentations, and I will give the first 20-minute presentation. So because I don't get paid enough to do this microcap stuff, I've decided to become the CEO of a disruptive technology company called Citrus Hawk. So what it is, it's basically a scooter company that has autonomous driving. So you download the app, and using your brain signals, you could tell the scooter where to go. And we already raised our $100 at a $45 billion valuation. Gary Bachrock was kind enough to give me that $100. And I wanted to be at a slight discount to FedEx because I wanted our friends to get a nice premium for their equity. But Citrus Hawk will be the first presentation.
It's not about any, who's on the board?
It's me, Truffles, Charles Xavier. He was famous for creating the X School and also being a philanthropist. There's a couple of new additions, and my brother is actually the CFO, or the Chief Friendship Officer. So I have a feeling that we're probably going to be the greatest presentation ever showcased at any investor conference.
Okay, now let's get serious. What's the date? Where is it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
June 4th and 5th. We're probably going to be anywhere between 225 and 260 companies. It's going to be 2 days. And like I said, there's going to be a few things that we're going to do with the smaller footprint that we weren't able to do over a three and a half day period. So we're excited. Naturally we're excited, but like anything, we're kind of in that ramp, so you can kind of sense the exhaustion. It's not just from being in a room all day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Lahiji. Thanks for coming on, Chris.
My pleasure. Nice meeting you guys.
This is Shelley Kraft on SNN Live. We're coming to you live from the Planet MicroCap Showcase 2019 in Las Vegas. Thanks, Chris.
Be well.
See you.
Thank you.